Hey everyone, long time no see. We're actually a little bit late because we were debating whether or not we should even go live for this game because we're gonna put the lineup out, and I'm gonna say the same thing I said in the video I made about Camp Cupcake being kind of useless. It's more or less along the lines of there's no meaningful USMNT conversation to have with this roster. There's no meaningful one.
No.
Uh, it's more about almost like containing some narratives that will be pushed with any player that performs against this very weak opposition that we're going to face today. It's going to be a team that's mainly just domestic league players from Venezuela. These are not even their best players that play in Brazil, like Soteldo, for example, or whatever. It's not a good team that we're facing. But to be fair, Pete, it's also not a good team that we're putting out there.
No, it's not. But let me just say this. People have been telling us how wonderful MLS is and how it's growing and it's a good league and we need to respect it. If these are the best Americans that MLS has to offer, right, then shouldn't they absolutely run over, destroy, and eviscerate a Venezuelan league domestic team? They should, right? Like,
It should be.
it doesn't mean you should be on the national team if you do that. But I think the absolute bare minimum bar, if these are the best Americans in MLS, it should be make this Venezuelan team look like an amateur team. Like, if you can't even do that, then I think this is a little bit of a question about MLS, because every year this Camp Cupcake, last year we looked terrible. The last 2-3 years, MLS in Camp Cupcake looked terrible. And so, it's like, I don't believe all the excitement about how wonderful MLS is and how it's growing and like a top 10 league in the world, what I hear from some people, when you can't even beat like teams that are made up of their own domestic league players that are supposedly much worse than MLS.
Well, like Venezuela doesn't even do crap in the Copa Libertadores. They
No.
don't. They. I don't think. I'm not okay. Look, I watched every edition of the. I've watched every edition of the Copa Libertadores since like 2002.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember Venezuelan teams getting out of their group. It's very rare, very rare. So, anyhow, and again, the best Venezuelan players are a lot of them are in the Brazilian league, and they go to these richer leagues in South America or even Europe. The Venezuelan national team is a lot better than it's ever been, to be fair. But that doesn't mean the league is better. On the contrary, the league's
Also,
probably.
the Venezuelan national team, just like it's not the USMNT, really, right? And also, you have to think about how much the opponent cares about this game. Do you think these domestic league players want to go to the US? They know the federation is just getting paid to do this
No,
game.
no,
It's
they
not
do
even
want to come to the U.S. They're probably enjoying South Beach.
right, but they're not excited. Like, they're not here to play the game of their lives. This is a meaningless friendly. It's not even on the FIFA calendar, and everybody knows this is just an MLS promotion tour. Like, I think there's going to be a sense of going through the motions with some of these Venezuelan guys.
Yeah, and then the question here from the Wandering Samurai. It's an interesting question. He's like, any players to look out for? Mostly no, but we could say that Patrick Schulte is fighting for a roster spot with the A team. So I guess watch out for his performance. I would say the midfield there with McGlynn and Kremaski. Not that I rate them very highly, but they're young enough that I will give them the benefit of the doubt. If they play well, these are players that could be in European League soon. So I would say watch out for them. Caden Clark, even though he's been to Europe and back already, he's still surprisingly only 21. So another one to keep an eye out, Gutierrez. And to me, that's about it. Everything else, it's more about judging how bad a player plays rather than how well it plays. Like poor performances in these games, we're going to judge the crap out of it because you can't look bad in this game.
Even average performances in these games is not acceptable. Like, this is, again, you have to consider the quality of opponent.
Yep. And we'll talk about that in a second because there are Pochettino comments that I want to address about what you just said. And then someone also asked, who is Matko Mihlevic? So if you don't remember, he did play in MLS, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, whatever. He was with Montreal, and he kind of got kicked out of MLS because he got caught playing in an amateur league and he got into a fight with a fake name. So I kid you not, this guy was caught he got into a fight in an amateur league. I believe it was also during the season where he used a fake name, and then he eventually got kicked out of MLS. I think he also got kicked out of his last Argentine club because he like spit on someone.
Yeah,
And
he's a bit of a wild man.
Yeah, we essentially got an overgrown toddler in our team right now, starting at the 10. That's what we got right there. But he's Argentine and he played for Pochettino's club, right, in Argentina. So Pochettino doesn't care that much about this camp. So we gotta get your buddies in. And I don't see another explanation for him being in this team and starting, especially when you have like Diego Luna on the bench. I don't think Luna is the savior of the U.S. men's national team. I don't think Luna would even really make to the A team of the national team. But I do think he deserved a shot in Camp Cupcake.
Over Miljevic, yeah.
Exactly.
15, 16 goal contributions last year. But I do think that, we talk about actions speaking louder than words. Miljevic's presence, not only in this roster, but in this starting lineup, should tell you how seriously Poch is taking this camp.
Mhm.
Like, I don't think Poch is here looking for talent that's going to help the actual national team.
Yeah, and we got Shaquille
Whatever
Moore
his
back
stats.
there. Shaquille Moore is back.
In 2025, this man is still starting.
And then Jeff Carey, Spicy Jeff. Good to see you again, Jeff. We haven't long time no see for all of us. And he's saying, I have my steel-plated jock strap on, prepare for tax ball busting. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. And then Julian Viva is saying, what do you guys think of tokens liked tweets? What are tokens liked tweets?
This was a while back, but it came out now because the Hoshin Kiel fans found it. He liked some tweets of like flat earther tweets. Like the earth is flat.
Oh my
He's a
God.
flat earther.
Well, okay. I mean, didn't Kyrie Irving also have something like that? I mean,
yeah, let's just say not all athletes are very bright.
Guys, I think also if you just catch a flight, you'll see that the earth is not flat.
Well, did you see that TikTok video about that flat earther who decided to go to Antarctica to prove that it was an ice wall? He realized, oh shit, when he got there. He got there and he was like, oh yeah, the earth is round.
Yeah, I mean, once you take a flight, you can kind of see that the earth is not flat, but whatever. Jeff Carey's saying increased Viagra dosage. Thanks, Tack. Okay. Have fun, Jeff. Have fun. Have fun right there. Enjoy. But let me bring up this quote here from Pochettino, and the other one I'm not going to show it on screen. I'm just going to talk about it because I actually don't know where it is, but I'll paraphrase it. So this is the one he said. I believe he was asked on what he hopes to bring from Argentine football to the U.S. men's national team. And Pochettino said, the way they compete, the mentality. When you lose a ball, you cry. When you lose a game, you spend maybe a week in your room. You want to go out, defend your flag, your identity, and your culture. I think personally that reminds me a little bit of when we lost to Panama in the Copa America and McKennie was in the hookah bar.
Yeah, and fans were getting mad at people criticizing him for that. Some fans were saying, we don't want you here if you think McKennie should not be going to a hookah bar after one of our biggest losses in a major tournament.
Yeah, I think there's a big like confusion between some of the part of the fan base with U.S. soccer where they're saying, what do you want, the player to not have a life? Like, no, he'll have a life and he has a life. But I'm just saying right after you had what was the most embarrassing U.S. men's national team loss since like Cuba in 2017, maybe maybe stay in your hotel, maybe stay in during that moment. Like
bare minimum, honestly.
Exactly. For a couple of days, just kind of like stay there, think about what went wrong and try to bounce back the next game, which by the way, they lost the game after the Panama one and we did get eliminated. So,
and McKennie was one of the worst performers in that Copa America also.
He was, which is quite surprisingly key because he is one of the best players we had. One of the best players we ever had. So this one, I agree with him in terms of the mentality. I think the U.S. men's national team in the Berhalter era, more specifically, regardless of tactics and player selection, I do think the mentality was one of the biggest issues. And it came a lot from the coaching staff, but a lot of it is also on the players. And the fact that Pochettino addressed that is important because he probably knows and he's probably seen it by now. But the one thing he did say, and I could maybe bring up your tweet because we saw some replies about that, was that Pochettino told the players in camp that it doesn't matter where you're playing. What matters is that you're performing. And if you're performing, you'll get a chance. Look, it doesn't take that many brain cells just to think about this take for a second. Obviously, Pochettino's not going to tell any players he has no shot based on what he's playing. And let's be real, sometimes in weaker leagues, you can find hidden gems. You can have an MLS player that is just so good, and maybe he's dominating MLS so much that he will be in the national team, and that's not a problem. but where you play 100% matters. Where you score 15 goals in a season definitely matters. Because if you have a guy scoring 15 goals in MLS and another one scoring 10 goals in the Premier League, are you going to really say that he's outperforming the Premier League player? There's levels to what you accomplish, because if where you play doesn't matter, then let's call up the top goal scorer of NCAA D1 or
Yeah.
USL. They're scoring 20 goals, 30 goals, call them up.
I score frequently in the park. Frequently.
Well, you're going to have to prove that. Do you have evidence of that?
I'll bring all my teammates one by one.
Okay.
I'll say.
So should we give Pete a chance? Like, I get it. The gap between MLS and a top 5 league is smaller than USL in a top 5 league. We get it. But there is a gap. So,
Yeah.
yes, where you play does matter. How you perform and the level of the opposition, of course it matters. It's actually such a stupid question to ask. Like, would you call an NBA player to the national NBA G League player over the NBA player? No. But then you can come up to me and say, hey, but there's that one player in the G League that he could be better than a lot of NBA players. That is true. That can happen. And that player will soon be there. But again, that's not the norm. So where the player plays does matter.
Well, a lot of it
matters.
too, Tack, is MLS fanboys who only watch MLS. Like maybe they only watch their local team and they want there was a guy on Twitter today comparing Inika Emeli to Tyler Adams and saying it doesn't matter the level, or the Premier League and MLS are not even close. One is the toughest league in the world to play in. MLS is frankly not a serious league. Okay. So you can't compare the levels. You just can't.
I'm going to bring up your tweet. I think it's important. Because you mentioned here the American prospects I'm curious to watch today. Luna, which by the way, he was benched by the guy that spits on people and plays amateur games with a fake name and gets into brawls. Luna's not playing. Gutierrez is starting. McGlynn's starting. Matt Freese is on the bench. I was interested also in Matt Freese because he was probably the best American goalkeeper in MLS last season, and he hasn't really gotten a shot. And Schulte has been kind of shaky at times. But Pochettino went with Schulte, which makes me wonder, maybe Matt Freese is not that good. I mean, whatever. We'll see.
Yeah.
But some of the comments, like, for example, Chris saying, I'm interested in seeing anybody who looks good. Don't care what their name or how they... Well, here's the problem. Sure, I am interested in anyone that looks good, but the freaking opponent that we're facing matters. Like, does it really matter if you look good against this team? It's like the bare minimum.
No.
It's the bare minimum. So going on, but there was one specific one that I wanted to find here. Here, all the players have been told there's an opportunity for them if they perform. I'll be watching every single one of them who steps on the field and plants their flag. This is where I talk about, like, I don't want to call anyone stupid, but it is a stupid take, because who you're facing, who you're playing. Look, even if we had the A team today, if we had Christian Pulisic, McKennie, everyone here today, and we were playing against this opponent, we would absolutely take the performance with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter
who tried to do that. We took the Venezuela Copa America performance with a grain of salt. Remember, afterwards, we won 2-0 against their A team, and you and I were like, that was not a good performance, to a degree that some people got mad at us and said that we were just being too negative. Well, look what happened after that Venezuela game. So, yeah, we wouldn't just do, and that was a much better Venezuela team than the one that we're facing now, and we won. So, yeah, absolutely it matters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that was Bolivia, not Venezuela. Bolivia. That was Bolivia.
I think it's like a lot of the young players in this game, if they play well today, a lot of the young players, they have earned the benefit of the doubt of like, hey, let's keep
Maybe you can get a January camp call up next year. Because that's the other thing, Tack, is like, what spots are up for grabs, really?
Backup left back, goalkeepers, center backs.
Are they really up for grabs, though? That's the question. Like, Patrick Schulte was already there, so he was already in the roster, right? A backup left, let's say Max Arfson plays well today at left back. To me, he's still behind Tolkien, Wiley, I don't know about Lund, and A-Rob, and probably Kevin Paredes. And if we get Nathaniel Brown, that's like 5 guys ahead of him.
Well, also, I would much rather just have Weah, Musa, or McKennie play there.
Yes.
Tyler Adams can also play fullback very well. So
yes. So it's like, when we say, okay, sure, if you play really exceptionally well against this team, where are you going to break in? Where are you going to break in?
Yeah, I can bring up the starting 11 again. There's absolutely no player in this starting 11 right now that I see besides, I guess, like as we said, Schulte, because the goalkeeper situation's so bad. But there's no player here in this starting 11 that I can see even making I mean, I can see him bringing up Miles Robinson, even though he shouldn't.
No,
I can see it
Miles is
happening. But at the end of the day, there's no player here in this team. And even I'm talking about the starters, but we can go through the bench too. Let's go through the bench. Matt Freeze maybe can fight for a roster spot at goalkeeper. Tim Ream will probably be called in. Dejuan Jones, I'm sorry, no need. Zimmerman, no need. Zimmerman can't even start for this team. Wow.
yeah.
Um, Emeka Eneli, that's the one they were talking about. He's a 25-year-old in MLS. So he's Tyler Adams' age, and people are comparing him to Tyler Adams. Well, guess what? Tyler Adams just had an amazing performance against Newcastle today. One of the best
And
midfield
Chelsea in
defenders.
midweek.
Yeah, and then you guys are comparing it just because the player profile is similar. It doesn't matter. Like Gio Reyna has a similar player profile to Juan Riquelme. Is he fucking Juan Riquelme? No. It doesn't matter if your player profile is similar. Sorry for cursing, guys. Sometimes, when we do soccer talk, we do curse. Actually, me and Pete try to curse less on camera. But when you're talking soccer in a bar, you're going to curse a lot. You have that. Indiana Vasilev. That's like so 2019 or 2018. It's been a while. That was a long time ago. Diego Luna probably deserved to start at Camp Cupcake, but he also can't start here. And then Brian White, which I don't even know what he's doing here.
Brian White gets called up almost every January camp. You know why? Because there's no American strikers, really. Although Brandon Vasquez, I don't know if he was not called up or Austin declined. We have Brandon Vasquez, Jesus Ferreira. He got injured and got sent home. So it's like Agyemang and Brian White. Like, okay. And they wonder why. Look at the Austin Stadium. It's not even full.
No, this stadium today, the game?
Yeah.
No, it's Miami.
Oh, Miami. Sorry. It's not even full.
No. I mean, they play on Wednesday here in Orlando, and you can give me free tickets. I ain't going.
No.
If you pay me a lot, then maybe I'll leave my house and go. Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably not. I still don't feel like it. But yeah, the stadium is like completely empty, and it's a Saturday afternoon in Miami. Miami's a massive city.
Yeah.
And it's an entertainment city very often. So it's wild that we have and how many of these are also tickets that are just like family members?
Yeah, exactly. Family members and sponsors, because sponsors get tickets every game, right? Oh, Miles already giving the ball away on day one.
How are you so ahead of me?
Oh, Agyemang is through.
You're that ahead of me? I didn't even know. It didn't even start on FootMob here. Crazy.
I'm watching on Max.
They're saying at the very least, in how these players do under Pochettino, with a pounding of salt, of course. It's all about first you have to look very good today, right? You have to look very good. And even so, if you look very good, it doesn't really matter that much. It's just that the ones that don't look good today, just get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a couple seconds behind you, but I honestly don't really care.
Yeah.
It's even better because then when you give a shout out there, I'll just quickly look at it and pay attention.
Did you see Miles in the first minute giving the ball away?
No, I just got the first pass here. Caden combined with, I think is that Kramaski? I don't know. And they try to put a through ball, and the Venezuelan goalkeeper came off his line. Now I'm at second 35 right now.
Oh, okay. I'm in 115. Penalty
for the U.S. How behind am I?
I think they kicked Agyemang for no reason. What?
Where are you watching it?
Oh, he was just. I'm watching I'm watching on Max, Tack.
Oh, Max. Okay, I'm on TNT.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a penalty, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch to Peacock. Let me just see the penalty that they're calling. They called a penalty on that?
Yeah, that's not a penalty, dude. Well, let me see it again on the slow-mo.
Oh, one of the midfielders for the Venezuelan team is Danny Pereira. It's that midfielder from Austin FC.
Yeah.
That's not
Oh,
very good.
Miljevic is taking the penalty. He better score.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, it doesn't really seem like a penalty kick. So they're saying put on Peacock. Yeah, let me put on Peacock here. Maybe it'll put me up to speed with you, or I'll catch up to you. Let me see. Oh Lord, I opened.
Oh my
Peacock.
God! Oh my God! Miljevic.
He missed.
We're one of the worst penalties I've ever seen. Oh my God! He like passed it to the keeper. Oh my fucking God!
I can't believe I missed this.
Oh, Jack, you got to see this. Sorry for the spoiler, but I could not. That is.
No, I don't care about spoilers for this game.
Oh my God!
I'm just putting
Jesus
Peacock on here.
Christ.
So Pochettino's boy, good job. Pochettino's boy already missed the
Pochettino's
penalty
boy
kick.
starts off with a.
Nice start for Pochettino's. I hope he gets a red. I hope he gets pissed and gets a red.
Oh my God! Can you imagine the one chance you have?
Well, he shouldn't even get a chance. So
I know.
delightful. So now I'm at Pete. I'm at 320. What about you?
I am at 341, so I'm still slightly ahead, but maybe not as ahead.
Yeah. So Peacock's also a little bit behind. Okay. So at least, guys, I caught up a little bit here. Okay. How do I pronounce his name? It's Agumen.
I think it's Agyemang, but that's just based on how it's spelt. I'm sure somebody in the chat who's a Charlotte fan will correct us on the right way to pronounce it. To be fair, Agyemang's looked lively so far.
Well, he's just much bigger and faster than all the Venezuelans.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Again, the context of the team that we're facing.
He's like twice their size.
Yeah. McGlynn with a decent free kick or a decent set piece, headed out.
Yeah, and everyone, if you just tuned in, make sure to drop a like in this stream here as you go through the agonizing pain that is watching another Camp Cupcake. We're doing this because we're kind of obligated, morally obligated. We don't even have a sponsor for these videos, so
no,
we just feel like it's our moral duty to support every U.S. men's national team game, and here we are. We're here. So if you can support the channel, drop a like in the stream. It helps a lot. It's free. It takes a second, and thank you very much for that. Well, at least
is that Caden Clark? Watch Caden Clark right now. Nice move by Caden Clark.
So McGlynn got the ball. I'm at minute 5, so I'm probably going to catch up to it now. Caden closed the season very well last year when he moved to Canada, to Montreal. Yeah, nice little spin there. Back heel spin. Good ball.
The final ball was not great, but it was the spin and turn under pressure and then the speed to get back behind his man. That was good.
Yeah, I'm hoping Caden does well. I hope McGlynn does well. I hope Mihlevic continues to drop a stinker. Jeff Carey saying, Tack, pull up your ball-busting X-post. Oh, you really liked that one, didn't you, Jeff? I'll put it up at halftime. I'll put it up at halftime. They're saying, will the TikTok ban affect either one of you? We're not really on TikTok.
No.
So not really. I also don't even have TikTok. I don't use it. I don't like shorts. So not for me. But it probably will affect a lot of people. I also don't think this ban is going to last. They're going to negotiate something and TikTok will be back in like a week.
I think so too. I think there's too much money to be had.
It's Agmeng that they're saying. Agmeng. Yeah, this Venezuelan team is really, really bad.
Yeah, of course it is.
I mean, I expect them to be less worse. Like the Slovenia or Slovakia team we faced last year looked better than this.
Yes.
Remember the Camp Cupcake where we played like Bosnia's domestic league team and we
And we
barely
still
beat
lost.
them? No, we
Yeah.
beat them 1-0. I think it was like a late
Didn't we
goal from.
lose to another Eastern European team though, like another Balkan? Was it Serbian's domestic team we lost to?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Here comes
Dude, you know what's
Venezuela.
funny? There's so much favoritism from Pochettino with Mihlevic that he's even the penalty kick taker.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Oh, McGlynn, what a horrible pass.
But this
Not
is
gonna.
why I don't think Poch is taking this camp too seriously. I really don't. I think it's the same thing as Jurgen said, where it's like we have to do it for the TV rights. So, sure, we'll call up my friend from Argentina.
Yeah, I think it might even be. Yeah, I
It might
don't
be a
think like
protest for all we know. Like, I
I
don't want to
keep
do this.
I kept telling you this to the MLS fans, like watch what Pochettino does and
Not
not
what
what
he
he
said.
says.
Yeah.
John is saying super chat mainly to say thank you for what you guys do for the U.S. men's national team community, but also have you heard anything on if Pochettino has talked to Nathaniel Brown or Henri Chase yet? I have not really dug into that. I haven't really asked anyone to get any information on it. I would hope so. I think those are two dual nationals that are very important for the short and long term. Short run, it seems like Nathaniel Brown would have more of an impact right now, even pushing A-Rob a little bit, right? Probably wouldn't
I
start over A-Rob.
I saw him against Dortmund. I was really impressed with this guy.
Yeah.
Very good on the ball, very technical, smooth, like a really good coup if we can get him.
Yeah, and
It would make every other left back irrelevant. You have A-Rob and Brown, then nobody else matters.
exactly. And then Henri Chase would be competing for a roster spot. He's fallen off a little bit there at Stuttgart. He's still young, but I think it's a
He's a
good.
center back at that age. It's like it's gonna, yeah.
No, it would be a great recruitment. So I would hope Pochettino has talked to them. Which, by the way, around February, mid-February, me and Pete will have a major announcement around February. So you guys
Yes.
stay tuned for that. You all know what's going on, but it's going to be a really big announcement. So you guys are going to like it quite a bit. I mean,
Yeah.
some people might not like it, but most of you will.
Yeah. All right, dude. I'm gonna hop out. I'll be in and out. Okay.
Talk to you soon, Pete. See you soon.
See ya.
All right, everyone. Minute 9 and 30 seconds for me. 9 and 30 seconds. Matt Poliquin saying taco forever. Good to see you guys back. Yeah, so Pete's dog, unfortunately, Taco passed away last week. That's why Pete was also not on YouTube as often. But he's slowly doing better with it. It's never easy when you lose your dog. Greg Burhalter saying, I need therapy after seeing that penalty kick. Traumatized. Ugh. Well, that's Pochettino's boy, and he just lost the ball again, Mihlevic. And then Shaquille Moore down the right. And Shaquille Moore just lost the ball. He just lost the ball. Remember, Shaquille Moore was one of the worst players in the 2022 World Cup, according to foreigners. They were saying that. Not me, foreigners. I agree with them, but again, doesn't matter. Man, this is really good. I actually made some passion fruit juice for this stream. It's so freaking good. Should drink passion fruit more often. Really good, really delicious. Winoke is saying, as a Venezuelan American tack, you better watch that mouth because Venezuela is not a bad team, even though this is a worthless game. Venezuela's main team, they are a very good team. Very good team. And we saw that in Copa America. We saw that we're seeing that in CONMEBOL World Cup qualifying. This right here is not Venezuela. This is not Venezuela's best. This right here is not Venezuela's best. I agree with you in terms of the main team. This team right here from Venezuela, it's not good. Also, the U.S. team that we have here is also not good. Simply isn't. It's not a good team. We can just be realistic about it. They're not sending their best. We're not sending the best. No one's sending their best. Simple as that. Now, one thing I was going to also ask everyone, did you guys know that me and Dustin started a channel covering Brazilian soccer in English? I mean, it's going to be much slower than Tactical Manager because this is our main channel and what we mainly follow. But yeah, we did start a channel covering the Brazilian national team. If you guys want to go check it out. It's probably on our community tab right now. Okay, and here came the United States. It was Gutierrez, Arfston with the cross, and nope, no goal. Good low cross, good low cross. We almost got a goal there, but and now we're trying to press Venezuela. Venezuela trying to play out of the back with this roster. Please, man. Caden Clark down the right. Clark back to Shaquille Moore. All the way back to George Campbell. Shaquille Moore. All the way back to Patrick. We had the ball in the final third in a dangerous position. And Shaquille Moore sent it all the way back to Patrick Schulte. Oh my goodness. I can't, man. Can't do it. Can't do it. What did I miss here? Yeah, to make this game more exciting, I should just have my speaker on here, play some Bono, some Madonna, and this would be a lot more enjoyable. A lot more enjoyable. Can someone give me an idea of what the announcement in February is going to be? It's going to be like this. Like, no one's going to be able to guess. But once it's made, it's going to be very obvious. Caden Clark with a cross shot on target. That was kind of like a shot, not really a cross. Once we make the announcement, it's going to be very obvious. Oh, no. We're not moving to mainstream media. No. That's not happening. No. I can confirm that's not it. We're not working for anyone. The announcement is not us working for anyone. No one wants to hire us. You guys got to understand, these days, no one in mainstream media likes to hire someone that kind of just like says whatever they want. Pretty much everyone, no exceptions in mainstream media, they're mostly puppets. No offense. Not all of them. I would say 80% of them. There are a few guys that I would say that they don't do that. I'd say obviously Herc Gomez, he's one. He speaks his mind. Obviously, in mainstream media, you do have to hold back a few things you say. But look, it's not us working for any mainstream media or big corporation. That's not the announcement. It's much better. It's much better. I'm telling you, it's much better. Let's see. Just announce it now. No, I actually can't announce it now. Otherwise, I would. I'm not good at keeping secrets. I let it all out. I'm not good at keeping secrets. Well, okay, back to the game here. Venezuela tries to go long. I know it's still early in 2025, but so far this has been the worst game I've watched in 2025. And here comes Venezuela down the left, shot and Schulte with the easy save. 15 minutes here. Matko took the penalty kick. Yes, he took the penalty kick and he wasted a penalty kick. He wasted a penalty kick. You got a real sponsor. I mean, we got FootMob. Did you guys watch the last USMNT abroad? FootMob sponsored us. Go download the app there on that video. It helps the channel. You guys are doing a meet and greet. I mean, look, us doing a meeting up with everyone, that's not really a big announcement, right? It's not that fun to meet us. I'll say this. In the announcement, there is a possibility that we can all meet up in the announcement. Yeah. I don't think we're important enough to do a meet and greet. Who missed the penalty kick? Matko Mihlevic, Pochettino's boy. Stephen Agishi saying happy 2025. Is there anyone good enough to stick with this roster? Probably not, Stephen. Just being honest. I don't want to say never. And you never know. There could be one or two players that could just like develop, get a lot better. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't want to say that there's no one because I mean this is a 24-man roster, but I think some players went home, but there's still like 20 players or 18 players there, something like that. So one or two could, but very unlikely, in my opinion. Very unlikely. Placata is saying Tack much sweeter. You mean sweeter in person that you'd think? I'm a very nice person. I'm probably the nicest person someone will ever meet if they meet up with me. The nicest one. I am telling you. Probably the nicest person. Trust me. Okay, throwing for Venezuela here, 17 minutes. All around gamer. How do you feel about the lineup? Yeah, we talked about this earlier in the game. It's it's a lineup that doesn't have much of a meaningful USMNT conversation right now. We talked about a few players, and Matko Mihlevic loses the ball once again. We got to get rid of this guy, man. He also should not be allowed to bleach his hair. If you're gonna bleach your hair like that, you got to be a baller. To get those tattoos and bleached hair, you got to be a straight up baller. You can't be a scrub and be bleaching your hair. If you bleach your hair and you're a scrub, you're not a professional soccer player. You're a member of a boy band. You might as well join the Backstreet Boys. They're aging. You can replace a few of them. Or join NSYNC. That one died. That band doesn't even exist anymore. Only ballers can bleach their hair. Or boy bands. So, which one is Matko Mihlevic a part of? They're saying trying to look like Slim Shady. Yeah, that's not Slim Shady. It's just garbage right now. It's a terrible, terrible player. Okay, Milovic passes to McGlynn. Cross goes in, blocked, corner for the United States. 19 minutes into the game. Well, Milovic didn't get a red card yet, so he's got that going for him because he does have issues when it comes to his behavior. Okay, corner kick for the United States, and Jack McGlynn will take it. Cross goes in, and there was an American player and a Venezuelan player just kind of like cuddling up in the box. It was weird, man. It was weird. Thing got a bit sexual right there. It's very weird. Saying Jeff Carey's saying I'll probably help out financially with our February announcement. Email us, Jeff. Email us. You have my email. Email. If you want to be involved, let us know. Just don't get freaky. Don't get spicy. Don't get freaky on the email. Just a regular email, a professional email. I know you can be professional when you want to, Jeff. I know you can. Okay, McGlynn. Another terrible cross. You know what? There's a lot more people in this stadium in attendance right now than I expected. A lot more than I expected. Okay, and then offside, and then just try to go long again. Venezuela. Miles Robinson clears it. Ben Kremaski to Shaquille Moore. Shaquille Moore tries to just go long again. Let's see how this turns out here. 21 minutes into the game. And pretty much nothing meaningful happened besides Pochettino's boy right there wasting a penalty kick for the United States. Not that it matters, but again, it's just kind of ironic that the guy that's not supposed to be there. Here comes Venezuela, cleared by Miles Robinson. Yeah, about the attendance, I'm actually quite impressed. I'm surprised that this many people are in attendance for a game like this. I mean, it is Saturday. I'm interested in seeing on what will happen with the United States versus Costa Rica game on Wednesday. Because one, it's going to be played in Orlando, which is a much smaller city than Miami. And it's going to be played on a Wednesday night. So the stadium's got to be empty, man. There's no way people are showing up to United States' Z team versus Costa Rica in Orlando on a Wednesday night. It's also, I think it's also at 7 p.m. and people get off work at 5, 6. They can't even make it on time to Intercoast Stadium in downtown Orlando. Orlando's traffic has been horrible, by the way. Very bad traffic in Orlando. Horrendous traffic, believe it or not. February of 2025 announcement. Tactical manager will interview Donald Trump. Donald Trump could not handle me as an interviewer. This would be the one interview he would not be able to handle. I'm okay cursing out the president. Like, people are very respectful to him usually in interviews, for the most part. All of Florida traffic is bad now. Yeah, I mean, Tampa traffic has been pretty bad. Orlando, horrible. Miami traffic has been bad for decades, right? Miami's traffic has been horrible for decades. I don't know how Jacksonville is, though. I don't know if Jacksonville traffic is terrible. I only went to Jacksonville once in Florida. Oh, bad giveaway here from the United States. Here comes Venezuela. And the cut inside, shot blocked by the Venezuelan player. Another horrible shot, and that's a goal kick. This is some really low-level soccer right now. Where's Neymar going to go? I still firmly believe Neymar is going to go back to Brazil. And my guess would be he plays for Flamengo or Santos. That's my guess. I think he's going to ultimately play for Flamengo or Santos. That's what I'm guessing, okay? Oh, God, this game. This game is just pure soccer terrorism. This is literally domestic terrorism. We're practicing domestic terrorism in the United States of America. Look at this shot. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. We might as well arrest the players and the coach, everyone after this game. Just arrest all of them. Straight to jail. Release them tomorrow morning, though. They don't deserve to stay that long in jail. Like one night. Just one night. Release them tomorrow morning because they got a game on Wednesday. Tack, Mexico beat your Brazilian club. I am not an Internacional fan. They played Inter in the south of Brazil. I'm a Palmeiras fan. They beat Inter. Okay, Venezuela tries to go, and Schulte comes off his line and back with the United States. I swear, man, there's absolutely no way Pochettino's watching this game right now, which I'm assuming he's watching it because he's right there, right? You would assume he's watching it. I don't think he has his eyes closed. And he thinks that any of these players have a spot in the main squad. So, yeah, there's that. There's that. World Soccer Talk pitch bot. I know, man. I'm telling you, we should arrest him for one night. One night in jail as punishment. That's how we should deal with this. Just one night in jail. He'll never do this to us again. You put him one night in jail, he's never putting us through this again. Saying, how good is Mattia Kimboni? I haven't seen him play yet. S27, I'm not able to tell you. I rarely saw him play for DC United when he was there. He barely got minutes. I guess like the only time we've watched him were like with youth teams. So it's hard to know. But Bournemouth saw something with him. There must be some talent there. But I can't come up to you and say that I know how Mattia Kimboni plays entirely and I can judge his player profile and everything very easily. I know he's highly rated as a high ceiling center back, but I haven't watched him enough to actually have my own judgment. I don't know. But he's making the bench for Bournemouth. He just got there. Just that DC United is kind of weird. They really didn't play him at all. Maybe he wasn't ready. I believe Wayne Rooney at the time did compliment him, but then later on, DC United didn't really play Mattia Kimboni. Very young for a center back, by the way, right? Center backs take a bit longer to develop. George Campbell. Ball goes long, and Gutierrez fighting for it. You know, one really bad mistake that I made that I just thought about? So, as I said earlier in the stream, I made passion fruit juice. I really like passion fruit juice. It's really good. The only problem with passion fruit juice is that it kind of puts you to sleep. It makes you sleepy. You relax. Have you ever tried that? If you're ever having trouble sleeping, make some passion fruit juice, like real passion fruit juice, not the fake one that they have like in a box. Like buy the actual passion fruit and make the juice. And then a little bit of melatonin, and you'll pass out in like 30 to 45 minutes. I probably should not have drank any passion fruit juice for this game. I'm starting to get very sleepy. Very, very sleepy. It's not looking good here, guys. I'm looking here on I'm watching the game, and I'm seeing like 3 Ben Kramaskis on the field. And we know there's only one. Right? We don't have 3 Ben Kramaskis, but I'm starting to get very drowsy here, very sleepy. Or maybe someone put something on my passion fruit juice. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's not. Yeah, but everyone, get those likes up. I don't know how many likes we have in this stream right now. I can check, but they're saying we only have 200 and we have like 700 people here. So let's get those likes up, and that's all. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. 202. We can definitely get it up. Definitely get those likes up. And in the USMNT Abroad episode that we released 2 days ago, we did have the FootMob link for you to download it for free, which it is free to download anyway. But if you don't have FootMob, go download it there because you'll be supporting the channel in the process. It's in the last USMNT Abroad video. That's one of my favorite sponsors because you guys know I've always used FootMob. I'm literally using FootMob right now on screen. So the moment we were able to work with them, you know, like the guy that was never meant to get any sponsors, me, and then I got FootMob. Out of all of them, I got FootMob to sponsor the app I already use. I already use it anyway. I promote them for free anyway, so it was really fun to do, especially when it's a product that I literally use on a daily basis. I literally use it on a daily basis. Brazilian Fury. Great channel, by the way, guys. Great channel, by the way. Go check it out. A lot of Football Manager content and a lot of Brazil content in English. So I recommend you all watching it. He's saying, good luck on this one, Tack and USA Pals. Oh, we're going to need a lot more than luck, man. A lot more than luck. We might need something that I can't really say on the stream because it could get me demonetized for this video. We might need some Coca-Cola. Some Coca-Cola. We're going to need a lot more than luck here to survive this one. A lot more. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs. Ever. Ever. All right. Let's go back here. "30 minutes. Corner kick for Venezuela. Ball goes in. Schulte holds it." Ball goes in and Schulte holds it. Very poor choice of words right there, but kind of funny. A little bit funny. If you have sense of humor, it's a little bit funny. Okay, United States playing out of the back here with Miles Robinson. Pass it to George Campbell. Miles Robinson literally passed to McGlynn under pressure for some dumb, idiotic reason. George Campbell. I don't know, man. George Campbell is an interesting name. When you go watch a movie and there's like that very good-looking guy in the movie, like Tom Cruise, very good-looking guy, but Tom Cruise is really short, like George Campbell's tall. George Campbell just sounds like a name of like that really good-looking guy in the movie that gets all the girls and all the girls love him. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt. That's what it kind of sounds like, the name George Campbell. Doesn't it? Am I wrong about that? I'm not talking about the guy itself, I'm talking about the name. George Campbell looks like Cameron Carter Vickers a little bit. He's tall though. Carter Vickers is not this tall. Caden Clark, and that's out of bounds and back with Venezuela 32 minutes into the game. By the way, I've been to this stadium that they're playing today, the Chase Stadium. I didn't like it. I went there to watch Messi once. Remember, I had a whole vlog about that. I went to watch Messi and Suarez. I didn't like the stadium. It felt like a bigger high school stadium. It wasn't really pleasant to look at, and it was okay in the inside. It's just like a big high school stadium. That's what it felt like. I guess like you could say like a Texas high school stadium. They have some really big high school stadiums in Texas, man. That was something when I stayed in Texas for 3 months, that's one thing that I was impressed. Their high school infrastructure is insane. And I'm mainly comparing it to the two states I lived in the most, which would be like Florida and New York. I was quite impressed with the high school infrastructure in Texas. Okay, Venezuela has the ball here in the midfield. 33 minutes. Yeah, I see a lot of people saying this game is boring. Boring? You're being kind of nice, man, to call it boring. It's a lot worse than that. It's a lot worse than that. Not much time, St. Tack. Any truth that the teams have been told that this match will end at halftime? That's definitely fake news, right? It's definitely fake. But at the same time, I wouldn't blame them if they did. I really wouldn't blame them if they did. They're calling Matko Mihlevic a bum. Yeah, like look, Matko Mihlevic should have not have been in the roster. Nevertheless, it's even worse the fact that he's starting. And to make things even worse, he took the penalty kick that we had in this game and he wasted it. It's kind of ironic, and that's on Pochettino. Like, this guy should not have been in the roster. This guy should not have been starting. Should never played for the U.S. men's national team. He's not good enough, and he's not disciplined enough. Even though he hasn't really done anything in terms of discipline this game so far. So good for him for behaving like an adult today. But Raul Ramirez is saying, Tack, I think we can get charged as accomplices to domestic terrorism for watching this game. No. If anything, we're victims. It's the other way around. We are victims. We're not accomplices here. We're victims. The people in the stadium could be accomplices. We're not. We're not financing this. Here at Tactical Manager TV, we don't negotiate with terrorists. We don't help terrorists. We don't do anything with them. Dude, Matko is pretty freaking bad. It's not just an attitude issue. He's just like not a good player. President Chip, how you doing, man? Long time no see. Hope all is well, man. Hope everything is doing good. Okay, here comes the United States. Venezuela in transition, and the United States gets the ball back. This is probably the worst game I've watched in 2025. It's still early in the year, but this might be the worst game we've seen in 2025. Yeah, this game will probably go down as one of the worst in 2025. I think it's fair to say. Oh, McGlynn with a banger. McGlynn with a banger. Okay, let's see this again. It has to have been his left foot. I just saw that going in. That's what she said. Okay, let's watch the replay. So Venezuela recovers the ball, the US and McGlynn. Oh, that's just rock. I mean, the goalkeeper probably should have saved that, but Edward Lettuce hands right there wasn't able to save it. Yeah, the goalkeeper probably should have saved that. It's a nice shot, but savable. But the goalkeeper has a mix of like lettuce hands and T-Rex arms, and it just didn't work out. But nice strike right there. (1-0) for the United States in the 37th minute. 37th minute. Come on, what? What? It was a nice shot. It was a nice shot. 2-0. Wait. Okay, I'm way delayed. I'm way behind everyone if it's 2-0 already. There's no way. Okay, hold on. Maybe you guys are trolling. It's still 1-0 for me. Let's see. Agyemang. Goal. 2-0 for the United States. You guys were not lying. 2-0 for the United States. Whatever the way you pronounce his name. Agyemang. Agyemang better than Brendan Vasquez? I don't know about that, man. Probably similar levels, but I don't know if he's better than Brendan Vasquez. His run was good. The finishing wasn't that good. It was just poor goalkeeping again. This goalkeeper's terrible. But his run was good in the play. He made a good run. They're saying, is this Venezuela's B team? I don't know if it's their B or C team, but they are missing their main guys. They are missing. They mainly have their guys from Major League Soccer, and I think they're Venezuela domestic league. They're definitely missing their best players. But I don't know if it's their B team or C team. I'm not a Venezuelan soccer expert, but I do know they're missing their best players. Yes. This is not Venezuela's best team. Ball goes long, 39 minutes, United States 2, Venezuela 0. Caden Clark goes long again. Okay, this could be number 3. He's still up. Okay, the Venezuelan goalkeeper did something. Agyemang had a 1-1 at the goalkeeper right now, but it was saved. He was on a tough angle to finish, to be fair. Hey, Pete.
Hello.
How you doing?
Bored mostly.
Yeah. Well, they were calling me a hater just because I said the Venezuelan goalkeeper sucks ass.
How is that a hater?
I just said that McGlynn hit a nice shot, but that was very savable.
No, that was very savable. And same with what's his name's goal. It literally bounced off his leg and into the goal.
Yeah, the run from Agyemang was good. The finish wasn't that good. The run was good.
I mean, sure. But the problem with Agyemang is the rest of the game, he couldn't hold up the ball. Do you know how many times they played it to his feet with his back to goal and he gave it away?
He can just run through the channels. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Kind of like
it's also Venezuela's, like, again, it's their domestic team. These defenders are terrible, dude.
Yeah, also
the guy let him run straight to the goal and shoot. He just shadowed him.
I also don't think Agyemang is better than Brendan Vasquez as much as some
I don't
people
think
are saying.
so either.
I think we've seen better from Vasquez against tougher opponents.
I also think Ferreira is still better than Agyemang.
Yeah, I mean, Ferreira is not really like.
Did Shaq Moore just get dribbled around?
I mean, Jesus probably would have been starting today, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Agyemang reminds me of Daryl DK, dude. Just older. Like big, tall, athletic, but
he's faster than DK from what I'm seeing. He's also taller than DK by a lot. Like DK is not very tall.
I don't know, but in terms of like the player profile, I don't see a big difference between them.
I think DK is a bit of a better player before he got injured, of course.
Yeah.
From what I saw in MLS. He's also not that young. Isn't he like 22? 23?
Who? Agumang?
Yeah.
24.
20. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
DK was 21 or 20 in MLS when he started.
Yeah.
Carlo is saying United States missing Zendejas. He's cooking Messi tonight. I mean, Zendejas would have probably been the best player.
Why are people watching money grab friendlies, preseason friendlies? I don't understand.
I don't know. Like Liga MX fans and MLS fans, they fight. They like fall for some things. Like Club America versus Inter Miami, they're gonna sell out Vegas for that.
Do you think anybody cares? Anybody on either of those teams cares about that game at all?
Well, Club America players might care to exchange jerseys with Messi, maybe.
Oh my God, Shaq Moore got dribbled around again.
Ben Kremaski. Also, dude, Kremaski, my opinion on him has never changed. He's just a workhorse in the midfield.
He's a good U20 player, dude.
Yeah, he
He's a
works
good
hard.
U20 player. Like he's a good U20 midfielder that can work hard and can pick a pass from time to time, but I don't see the hype.
Yeah. Agamyang or Jassy Zardes. Dude, honestly, it's quite similar.
Same shit. Like this is the same thing that happens every year. Some athletic, center forward will score a few goals in MLS and people will start acting like he should be on the national team, guys. Like,
well, it's the same with Brendan Vasquez, right? He's just a very good athlete.
Yes. Same happened with DK. Same happened with Duncan McGuire. Same happened with a lot of these guys. And the result is always the same. They can score a few goals in MLS because the defending is shit. But when you put them on an actual national team against actual players that can play, they get found out. That's just reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what we were talking about before the stream is games like this, if you're a quality player, you have to be really standing out. You have to, you're watching the game, you're like, this guy's levels above everyone else.
Here's
and
my
right
question.
now,
yeah, go ahead.
And right now, it just seems like, I mean, the U.S. team is clearly better, but no one's really standing out.
No. Nobody is like going, oh my God. Even if they did, right? Even if they really stood out, it'd be like, okay, context of the team. But nobody is standing out in a way that you're like unplayable,
No, far from it. And Lee Woodcock's also, Pete, how dare you? McBride said that Shaq Moore's the best one. He did say that.
He did say that. He can't even defend against Venezuelan domestic league players. Did you see him get beat twice? Like dribbled around like he wasn't there.
Oh, and then you have like Joe Scally like marking Sane in the Bundesliga.
So ridiculous.
Anthony's saying, do you guys remember when Brian McBride said the Shaquille Moore was the best one? Yes, we remember that. I think they removed Brian McBride from that show, the CBS one. They're like, nah, dude, like too much. We have enough bad pundits, but you took it way too far.
Apparently one of them got a phone call. I don't know if it was, I think the CBS got a phone call or something, and they were like, tell McBride not to shill that hard. So that actually admitting that they were shills. They were like, he could shill, but don't shill that hard.
Yeah, Rich Allen saying these guys are real haters, man. It's like, we're not real haters. Here's the thing. If they didn't have, let's start by explaining why this camp exists. This camp exists because they have TV obligations. It's because of a TV contract. So this camp essentially gives caps to undeserving players to the national team. So I will hate on that. I don't think players that don't deserve to be there should be there. Matko Milevic would never have put on a USMNT jersey if this camp didn't exist.
Yeah.
The national team should be something that's really tough to get in, and that when you make it, it's something serious and special. This is not special. This is a joke, and it should be treated as a joke. That's how it works.
Put Ski Bum's comment up.
Who?
Ski Bum.
Ski Bum. Okay.
So
you guys, you want me to read it first? I'll say, you guys are bad pundits, nothing but saying how terrible everyone is and pretending like you know what you're talking. Well, they are terrible. So there's that. So
Ski Bum, your comment is neither original nor interesting. People have been saying this about us since we started these channels. And almost unilaterally, we have been proven right over and over again. People used to say the same thing about us in Berhalter. People used to say the same thing about us in Sebastian Lletget, Christian Roldan, Jassy Zardes, Jackson Ewell, Shaquille Moore. DeAndre Yedlin, Miles Robinson. Nothing has changed. Sure, we're not right all the time, but 90% of the time when we've said a player is absolute trash, they are. Okay. So you can call it negative. That's fine. But our record actually pretty much does speak for
I mean,
itself.
most fans agree with that. That's the thing.
Yes. And
It's
it's
like
not just
more,
us.
most of the takes that we have are common sense.
Yes. It's not actually, you don't even have to be a good pundit to be able to use your eyes and say, oh my God, what garbage is that?
I mean,
Right.
I'll put it this way: anyone that watches MLS, if you watch MLS on a regular basis, you will say the same thing right now. This game is below the MLS level.
Yeah.
Like MLS games are at a higher level than this game right now. MLS games, the so criticized league, Major League Soccer.
Yeah.
And they're saying S27 is saying Maguire, Jackson Yule, Dorsey should all be here. Pochettino out.
Griffin Dorsey.
Oh my
I
God.
miss Griffin Dorsey and the Houston fans demanding a call up for him.
Yeah, and then Cubo Maker saying Pochettino has these kids playing with fuego in them. Yeah, look, the thing with it is the main issue I have with this camp right now is that times have changed. We don't need this camp anymore, but they still have the TV contract. So my overall point of trashing this camp is I think it has to change. We need to have this camp become a youth camp. Only bring
Yes.
prospects, because then prospects, if you bring like U20 players and they're playing against grown men, even though they're not great players, the opponents, you're still testing these kids. You're putting them in a national team environment. Now, what we're seeing today is mostly useless. And then you even see Pochettino bringing like a friend, like Matko Milevic, making it. It just becomes something that you can't take seriously. You can't love. Unfortunately, all you can do is hate on it and laugh about it. It's unfortunate. We don't want that. Hopefully, March can't come soon enough where we can actually root for this national team to beat Panama, to beat Mexico or Canada, whoever we play in the final. But this right now, I'm sorry. I'm not for giving players that don't deserve it games. I'm not for it.
No, 100% agree. It's an MLS promotion tour, is what it is. And I'm not down for that.
Not even promoting MLS.
Well, it's not supposed to be, though, because then what happens is in an article 3 months from now, they'll go, USMNT forward Patrick Agyemang scored a goal for Charlotte against, whoever. It's to try and sell tickets to fans that like, oh, look, we have a USMNT striker. It's like, no, you don't. He got a call up because everybody else was unavailable because it's a fake. It's not even a FIFA date. Like, it's not even a FIFA international date.
Well, and there's also the fact that they're going to put it that he scored against Venezuela that's ahead of Brazil in World Cup qualifying, ignoring the fact that Venezuela is in like a B or C team. That would also be ignored.
Friendly. Believe me, they would not play like that in World Cup qualifying.
Well, but this is not their best, too. These are their worst players. Like, they're missing their best players. We saw Venezuela in the Copa America. They have a very competitive team when they have their best. So do we, right? Our team's also a lot better. But Daniel's saying, I used to watch Golazzo and left comments saying I was never going to watch them as long as McBride was there and got over 100 likes on it.
Cook them, Daniel. Cook them.
Adam Wilton is saying, do other national teams have a B, C, D teams play as much as the U.S. men's national team in CONMEBOL UEFA? No, not really.
No, because they don't make up international dates to play on.
No, they'll have usually their A squad, and then sometimes occasionally when it's friendlies, you will see some key players missing, like we saw with England resting Harry Kane, but they usually bring their best for most of everything. So yeah, I don't know about Asia, but CONMEBOL and UEFA, I am 99%
it's the same in Asia. For example, they play, like I lived in India for 7 years. I grew up in Thailand. They play on FIFA international dates, and they play and they bring their best team or whatever's available, and they play. There's none of this like, oh, we have to have a domestic team that plays in January for TV contracts. This is exclusive to the United States.
Yeah, and then back here, Jeff Carey saying Pete and Tack are not always right, but they're beautiful. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Placata, this is where I respectfully disagree with you, because I know you've been nice to me many times. You say you can just enjoy it for what it is and not hate it since it doesn't matter. But here's the thing. Since it's going to exist, we can make it matter. We can make it a youth camp and make it useful. And the only way to do that is to continuously complain about it until someone maybe listens. It probably won't matter. They're probably going to continue to do whatever they want. But I'm just saying, it can be useful. If all hope was lost and just like whatever, you can make it useful. Like, you can start by not bringing Matko Milevic and playing Diego Luna, for example. That's a start. You can
Yeah.
also not bring these veterans and play a lot of the kids, the U20 players.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that. It could matter. We are making it not matter.
And Placata, you're welcome to enjoy it. Like, if you want to enjoy it, great. But not everybody has to enjoy it just because you do. I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy it because it's irrelevant, because I think it's taking spots away from younger players who could get an opportunity to have early exposure to Pochettino and to work with him. And I think it's handing out caps to people who don't deserve it. It's a participation trophy mindset. And I'll be honest, Placata, there is a lot of participation trophy mindset within American soccer culture, right? And the media gets behind it and tries to pretend this is real. And these guys who would never get caps if we only played on FIFA International days, all get caps. And now it cheapens what it means to play for the U.S. men's national team. So yes, we can absolutely hate on it, as you call it, or criticize it, because it is both meaningless, but it's actually harmful to what it means to get a cap. Because any Johnny come lately who has half a decent season in MLS can all of a sudden get a national team cap. It cheapens it.
Yeah, so my overall point is that I respectfully disagree with that. I think we fans as a whole, of course, if you enjoy it, I have no issue with that.
Yeah,
Like,
you can enjoy it.
yeah, I have no issue with anyone that comes here and just says, "Hey, we love it." But I do think there's a lot of things with it that can make this camp useful. Right now, it's not, because we're just complacent and accepting the fact that, yeah, let Pochettino bring his best friend. Let's just bring whoever. Bring in Brian White.
Shaq Moore.
Like, instead of bringing Brian White, just bring 16-year-old Julian Hall.
Yeah.
Bring him
Honestly,
in.
bring Kevin Sullivan before you bring Miljevic.
Exactly.
He's at least going to be something for the future, right? It's
Hopefully,
like,
yeah.
yeah, hopefully, right? But, he has the potential to be something. Why not expose him to Pochettino early? What about bringing a guy like Grayson DeToni that actually might benefit from this? Bayern would probably enjoy him actually playing against professionals and see what he looks like there. You bring a guy like that. How about Diego Cochin if Barcelona could, release him? Noah Kai Banks, you probably couldn't get because he's now with the first team. But what about Josh Winder, right? What about Peyton Miller? Guys like that matter a lot more, to be honest.
So Jeff Carey asked me to play this. I said, "Good morning. It's USMNT Camp Cupcake game day, and this is what it feels like." Game day, guys. All right, we've had enough. That looks very, very painful. Carlos is saying we need the L3 versus United States final, favorite team time of the year. Yeah, it'll be fun if we play Mexico in the Nations League final in March. Even though I'll say this, I kind of want to beat Canada more than Mexico.
Yeah, I want to beat Canada also. And I actually think Canada will beat Mexico in that game.
I think so too. I think Canada, we talked about this before. Canada's starting 11 alone is more or less the same level as the US. We just have more depth. The starting 11,
Yes.
if you compare them, it's very close to the level of both teams, the US and Canada.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yes.
And Jose Reyes, thank you for becoming a member. Jack Bauer is saying, I miss Greg Berhalter. We would have been down 1-0 at halftime, but our expected goals would have been... No, his expected goals were not good.
No. If the possession stat would have been very high, though. Possession
Yeah.
would have been high. The
Yes.
expected would not have been good, but it would have been like, hey, 64% possession, guys.
A lot of crosses also.
A lot of crosses. Great game. Miles Robinson showed that he can hang with the best in the world, and, we just don't have a guy like Memphis Depay, and that showed today,
Yeah. But going on here, Skibum is Milevic's mom's secret account. No, look, listen. He's like, he can have his opinion. He can call us haters. We've been used to that for 4 to 5 years.
That's not new.
We got called haters when we complained about the way we played against Bolivia in the Copa America, and then you guys saw what happened after, and then the people that called us haters just kind of disappeared. They just disappeared.
Yeah.
It's like Thanos just like
very happy to call us haters
the
until we're right. Then they don't come back and be
then they don't come back. So I mean, look, like I said, I don't really enjoy hating on this USMNT camp. I just hate the fact that we're not making it useful. and it's gotten to a point where like we're calling in Matko Milevic. That's not even a good MLS player when he played for Montreal, and he's like acting like a freaking overgrown toddler everywhere he goes. He's starting taking penalty kicks for us, and multiple things that can happen, right? We don't have to give Miles. Why is Miles Robinson here? You don't have to give him a look.
Shaq
Why
Moore.
bring young center
You
backs?
know who they could have brought? They could have brought Noah Cobb from Atlanta, 19-year-old center back,
Peyton
played
Miller,
17,
Peyton
18
Miller
games.
too. Like,
Peyton Miller. There are so many guys you could have brought. Josh Winder, maybe Grayson DeTony, maybe Kobe Henry. Like so many better options.
yeah, it's just kind of like again, either end the camp or just make it a youth camp. If I firmly believe if it was a youth camp, it would be useful.
Yeah, and it might be more interesting. More people might actually watch, which would bring
Yeah,
up the TV numbers. Like if you had Diego Cochin and Pedro Soma starting this game and Julian Hall, people would watch, I think, more. We'd be much more interested to watch.
yeah, there's a lot more people watching it right now than I expected, though. So there's that.
You mean the stream or the game?
Just like in the stadium, I thought there was gonna be like half a dozen.
Yeah.
Jose Reyes is saying this camp needs to be a scouting camp for U17 through U23. I agree. I think
Yeah.
U22 below, that's it. And
Yeah,
I guess
with
for
the
the
exception of like a 25 goalkeeper or something.
a goalkeeper, yeah. Like besides that, like this is what this camp should be about, and it would be useful. It would be interesting to see. But that's not what we're using it for. Like, explain to me, what is Tim Ream doing in this camp? Have we not? Do we not know what he can offer? You really need Tim Ream in this
I mean,
camp?
I'm actually okay with Tim Ream there if he's like more of a coach, but not to play.
But for this camp, it's still useless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Julian Viva saying, I want to see Campbell, Banks, and Akimboni in March.
No, I would say it's too early for sure for Akimboni. Campbell, with our winger depth, I wouldn't hate that if he's the fourth winger, because Haji's not back. But even if Haji comes back, who would be your four wingers for March camp?
Tillman might be out, right?
Yeah,
He's
Tillman
out for a long time. It looks very serious. So you have Christian Pulisic and Weah. That's a lock. I guess Musa's a winger for Pochettino. So
that's true.
Put Musa there. I mean, I don't know if I would bring him, because then after that, for the winger position, if you need, you have like, I still think Balogun can play as a winger if you need to at a higher level.
There, though, in March.
Oh, you're right. Balogun is out also.
I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing Banks and Campbell, if it's a 26-man roster, to give them early introductions to the team. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think it might be early for Akimboni. But I also think it's not like you need to bring Banks or Campbell. Maybe the Gold Cup would be better for them.
Yeah, and then Green Great Bazin is saying, who are the one or two players you can see in 2026 out of this team? None.
From here, nobody. Well,
maybe
like Schulte could be in the goalkeeping pool.
Yeah, the goalkeeper. That's about it. And I mean, unless if Pochettino just kind of like doesn't really do his job, is Miles could make the roster. He shouldn't, but he could. That's about it, in my opinion. They're saying being critical is your job here. I mean, yeah. I mean, look. It's also our job to enjoy it and celebrate with y'all, right? It's part of being a fan too. It's like enjoy, be critical of it. It's just that when something, all you can do is be critical of it. That's all you're going to be.
Yeah, I think our job is to say what we think. I'm not going to like pretend to think a certain way when I don't really feel that way. I'm like, we've always said what we genuinely thought, even if it got us a lot of criticism, and even has lost us a lot of opportunities, right? We have been told that it's hard to get sponsorship deals for us because we're too critical of MLS, or we don't speak highly enough of MLS, for example. And so, but that's okay. We're not here to, push a narrative. We're not here to like make a ton of money. We're just guys who enjoy soccer and say what we think here,
How can people say, there's like people on Twitter saying that Aubameyang has been solid and the game has been enjoyable. The game has been horrendous and Aubameyang has not looked impressive at all.
Those are MLS fanboys. Also, a lot of people only care about goals. They see a goal, they're like, must be good. They didn't see how many times Aguiman gave the ball away when he was supposed to be holding it up.
Also, like, it doesn't matter if you score against this team.
No.
Adam Wilton is saying you also get guys like Jesus getting inflated stats when guys like Pulisic haven't played for in Camp Cupcakes and Gold Cups. Well, Gold Cups, it's fine. Gold Cups are still competitive tournaments. Sure, you do inflate the stats there. You play some bad teams, but the Gold Cup is a serious tournament. I personally think Camp Cupcake goals should not count. They should not count for your database. Gold Cup should. So
Yes.
Jesus scoring there, you
But
count it.
even Jesus, the Gold Cup goals were against island nations, like tiny island nations, like terrible
Yeah,
teams. You put him
yeah,
against a good team and he chokes.
yeah, but he is better than what we're seeing today.
That is true. That is not a high bar, but that is true.
Yeah. Anthony Sims is saying, "Where's PFOC and does Tuchel improve England?" PFOC, I don't even know what's going on. He was his Union Berlin on the bench, like
Not doing
whatever.
much.
And I mean, does Tuchel improve England? Tuchel's a cup manager, right? He's really good in cups. So we'll see when England plays a cup, which I think the next one will be the World Cup.
Yeah.
So we'll see with that. I do think he improves England. Yes, I do think he does. USA gotta play versus Jamaica every game. Spank teams. Is it Jamaica? Because I see JM. I can't see the flag.
I think so, yeah.
No, Jamaica is very talented, but also a mess. Ellie is saying this would be better off as future camps like Emma Hayes is currently doing with the women's team. This would be better off. What is she doing?
Camp. She's calling in all young players.
Okay, because she knows. I guess she takes it seriously.
Yeah. She's actually I don't know, man.
She's actually very passionate about her job. Something I really like.
I love Emma Hayes. I'm very happy with her as a national team coach for the women.
Yeah, Pochettino does not seem passionate about this camp. He seems almost
not
like
this camp. He does show a lot of passion in the other camps, dude. Compared to Berhalter, did you see the talk he gave them about passion before the game?
Mm-hmm.
Like I see a lot of passion from Pochettino in other camps. In this camp, it looks like he's being forced to be here.
And then the stadium is surprisingly full. Is it the Messi effect? What if they lie to everyone and say, Messi's playing, come to the game? It's the stadium where Messi plays.
They're like, ooh, Messi must be there. And then I'll bet you there are probably American fans who are asking, why can't Messi play for the US? He plays for Miami. Like he plays in America. Why can't he play for the US? There are, I 100% know that there are.
Like that one guy from North Dakota will ask that.
I don't even think it's one, dude. I think there are people in Miami who would ask that. To be honest.
Cubo Maker saying, I heard Miles is good at headers. Yeah, he's okay. I mean, I can't really complain about his headers, but Edgar Castillo saying, all hail King Miljevic. Yeah, he's there, man. He's our 10, Edgar. He's our 10. He wasted a penalty kick.
He's still on the field.
Yeah, he bleached his hair. He's looking cool, like he just got out of a boy band. Apparently, he got a new club now. He's going to play for Huracan in Argentina.
Yeah.
Dude, the Argentina league is so down bad. I'm going to tell you something right now that's going to shock you. The winner of the Argentine league, I think it was Vélez, they got paid $500,000 for the league title.
Yeah.
You know how much Red Bull Bragantino in Brazil got? That was the first team out of the relegation zone. $3 million.
Yeah.
The first team out of the relegation zone in Brazil made 5 to 6.
Is it like an economic issues within Argentina, or?
It's probably a little bit of both. Argentina and the clubs being broken. Yeah, the economy. Not like the Brazilian economy is doing great either, but the teams are just very rich with the foreign investors.
Yeah.
Santos won the second division of Brazil, and they made more money than Vélez.
Yeah.
So the second division champion in Brazil makes more money than the Argentine league champions. Let me get the score back on screen because the second half did start. But yeah, everyone, just keep in mind one thing. When we are being critical of anything from the game, this is not to take away your joy for the game. If you enjoy it, enjoy it. It doesn't really matter what we say. That should not take away the joy of the game for you. People enjoy different things.
Yeah.
On the contrary, if you enjoy it, I fully support you because we do need more people enjoying USMNT games. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and lie and talk about this camp in a positive manner when it's not positive. So
yeah.
And no, none of the players have really stood out in a way where you can like, hey, they can play for the senior team.
No.
Also, they're talking about Agmoyang, whatever, like scoring in this game, and then they'll shit on Sargent for not scoring in like the Copa America, as if
Yeah.
Sargent wouldn't score in this game.
Yeah.
Edgar is saying Pochettino's love affair with Milovic. He really benched Luna for him. The B team Aronson. Yeah. Look, the whole call up was weird and starting was weird. Me and Pete talked about this earlier in the stream. We don't really feel like Pochettino's taking this camp that seriously. So he's just like,
Yeah.
whatever.
I think he's saying all of the right things, but with Pochettino, you do have to go actions speak louder than words. I'll tell you why, too. He talked so much about Emery in the pre-camp press conference or the pre-game yesterday. It was like, Emery, very nice. He runs. It was interesting what he was saying about him. Very nice.
Oh, because someone asked, right?
Yeah, someone asked. He runs a lot. We will definitely use him. Hasn't used him yet. So, you know, usually when a coach like praises a player, you think, oh, maybe they're going to start. But, you know, here he is, not even on for the second half. So,
yeah, because the problem is like, there's this thing about, look, Pochettino's never going to shit on any of these players ever, and he shouldn't. To be honest, he shouldn't do it. And then you bring in MLS media, and they ask these questions, knowing Pochettino's going to compliment the player. Obviously, he's not going to go and say
their article is Poch really rates. You know,
exactly. He's not going to go and say, he's like, hey, Pochettino, what do you think of Emery? That's oh, he's garbage, man. He's terrible. Not going to say that, and he shouldn't say that. So it's, guys, we got to stop being naive. That's my point. Like, seriously, can we just stop being naive? That's what it is. Falling for those things. Like, he's going to say what he's got to say. Also, he should tell the players that regardless of where you play, you will have an opportunity if you're performing. He should say that. But again, also should push the players.
Yeah.
I mean,
to say you're not going to get an opportunity is crazy, right? Like, but you're not going to get an opportunity. But he should also be recommending that they go play and push themselves in higher leagues.
Fumar is saying he'd rather see Jalen Neal. Jalen Neal is not in camp anymore. I think it's because of the transfer to Montreal, right?
He also had a slight injury again.
Yeah, so Jalen Neal's not in camp. Jesus Ferreira's not in camp. Jesus probably would have started, I'm assuming. There's a few guys that left. I think Drake Callender, the goalkeeper. Jeff Carey's saying that the University of Texas is going to pay the football team $3 million next year.
30 million. 30 million or 3 million?
Yeah. The team?
Yeah, I think probably the players. Well, they got rid of that rule, right? That you can't get paid in college football, in college sports.
So they're going to start becoming millionaires in college?
Yes. Yeah, but you know what? How much money they generate for the college in the
No, they deserve it fully. Yeah, they deserve it.
Like, I'm sorry, but the amount of money the colleges make off of the football programs is like for real insane.
No, I'd much rather the players get the money than just the university have it and to pay. I don't know who takes that money at the end of the day, but no, the players do the work. They deserve the money. They're producing that money.
Yeah,
all for it. It's just remarkable, right? The amount. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, football will always be king in this country.
Okay. Aubameyang. Dude, Aubameyang is terrible.
Dude, he's so bad. He was ahead of these two guys with running with the ball, and he had to like stop it and bring it back and start all over again.
He's all goofy with the ball.
Yeah, he's very poor technically. He's very poor.
Milovic wasted another chance. The only players that I'll say that I saw some technique here so far, Gutierrez has some technique there.
Guti has some. McGlynn has some when he's not being pressed.
Yeah, McGlynn has too with that left foot especially. But outside of that, it's very unimpressive.
The way about McGlynn is that he can spray passes with his left foot, but if you put him in a high-intensity environment, that's where he struggles. And I think that's why he needs to go to Europe. I think he needs to really get used to that environment and learn to play with the ball under pressure. It's the whole time and space thing all over again, right? You give him time and space. Here comes Agyemang again. Tackled.
Yeah, so not much time saying, will Pochettino get this right next camp? Have we ever seen U22s in this camp. No, we've never had a Camp Cupcake where it's just exclusively U22 players. And will Pochettino get it right in the next camp? Probably not. Probably not. Like he's probably just going to do the same thing next year. He's not going to give a crap.
Yeah, and then you're not going to see these guys for the rest of the year.
Joseph saying, will MLS ever get away from the DPs and spend better? I hope so. I've talked about this for quite some time. I thought it would have been a lot better for Major League Soccer to reduce the amount of designated players, keep the U22 initiative, and keep one DP, and increase the salary cap instead of like 5 or 6 million, whatever it is now, to like 15 to 16 million. Make the rosters better and still keep that 1 or 2 DP spots so you can sign a superstar for your roster. But again, I don't know, man. Oh, nice save. Good header there from Miles. Good save from the goalkeeper. But I don't think they're going to move away from that anytime soon.
No, they've made themselves very clear about what they want. Like people who are hoping that they would change for 2026, they're not changing for 2026. Now, people who thought maybe because Messi's here, they're going to loosen up spending. They're very clear what they wanted. Even Don Garber said it recently. For anybody who's not been paying attention, I don't see a significant change to our business model, at least in the next few years. They're not going to change. They're very happy with the status quo. They got their Apple money. They are, keeping a few diehards in every little city. They're not really growing the league. They just have to keep expanding to find diehards in new cities. And if you don't like it, screw you. It's the same. It's nothing in MLS is ever going to change. And if you enjoy that, fine. To me, it is very plastic, very fake, and antithetical to what football is in most of the world.
Well, the thing with MLS too, it's like they have the so-called parity forced parity because they do the salary cap. So they have parity among the teams, but they have the most unbalanced rosters out of any top league that we watch in the world, like any of the top 25 leagues. Let's put it that way. The rosters are very unbalanced.
Well, also because nothing matters until August, the games are just boring for me. There's no promotion relegation, and 70% of the league makes the playoffs. So what are the stakes? What are we playing for? It feels like exhibition games a lot of the time.
Kylo is saying, miss Pulisic in the Gold Cup, clapping teams back to back. Pulisic could be back in the Gold Cup this year.
Yeah,
he could be. There are a few reasons to believe that Pochettino might bring the A roster. It's not confirmed, but I'll put it this way. It's much more likely than the previous editions. It can happen. So maybe we'll see Pulisic in the Gold Cup this year. Jeff Carey saying, Tack, you should have me on as a guest. Ask the chat. Jeff, I am very concerned of what you might do and what you might do on camera, which could get me banned from YouTube depending on how far you take this. So I don't know. MREX saying your take on MLS is not fair. The league is still still has poor cash flow from a cash flow standpoint. They need to thread carefully. Well, MREC, what I said about the salary cap, they're already spending that much money on salary. The problem is they have 3 DPs and the U22 initiative. What I'm saying is you remove the 2 DPs and you increase the salary cap. They would be spending the same thing from what I said. The only difference is it'll be more diluted in the roster and you elevate the floor. You make the league more competitive. They're already spending what I just mentioned. Just also, look up the numbers.
Yeah, Tack is 100% right. But also, Emrek, we've been hearing the same thing about MLS for a long time. Maybe the reason that they have a cash flow problem is because not enough people care. That's like saying, listen, we would love to make a good product, but you haven't been buying enough of our product, so we can't make a good product yet. When you start buying more of my product, let's say I make tables. I make shit tables. Nobody's buying my tables. When people say, Pete, you should make better tables, people might buy them. And I say, well, I can't make better tables because no one's buying them. So when people start buying my tables, then I'll finally have the money to make better tables. That's not how business works. You put a good product on the field, people will come. You put a shit product, you don't be surprised when you have a cash flow problem.
Yep. That summarizes most of it.
Yours says Pete's trash tables.
Cubo Maker saying, I, for one, would love a Spicy Jeff channel invite. Yeah, guys, I'm just a little bit concerned of what, how Spicy Jeff is. He's unpredictable, man. Spicy Jeff is unpredictable, so it's hard for us to know what he will do. And could become a problem.
Also,
Let me ask
we're
this,
here to
Pete.
talk about soccer, not whatever Jeff's into these days.
Yeah, sometimes he's geography, Jeff, and it's a little bit better, but sometimes he's spicy, and that can be a problem here.
Yes.
And even geography, that's not what the channel's about. So
No. But Jeff, you know what you should do is start your own channel where you discuss spiciness and geography. Maybe people will come. And if that's what people want to watch, then invite us to your channel. Maybe we'll come to that.
I love it when some of the replies, especially on Twitter, it's like, this camp does no harm. No, it 100% does harm. That's the problem.
Yes, it takes away opportunities from guys that should be getting it.
Well, it also creates a stupid delusion of like some people saying that
Yes.
Aubameyang, whatever, not even Aubameyang, whatever the fuck his name is. It's like,
Aubameyang.
oh, he's good. It's like, no, because he scored. No.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not good. But also the same thing. We beat El Salvador 6-0. Remember in 2021, Chris Mueller got 3 goal contributions.
They said he was going to compete with Pulisic. Remember
yes,
that?
Jesus Ferreira had a hat trick. All these guys. And you and I called it after that game. We were like, I'm sorry, that was shit. And most of those guys made it to the Olympic qualifying roster and flopped massively and have been flops ever since. This January, we do this. It's frustrating because we do this every single year. Not everyone, but a lot of people. Hey, this guy seemed to perform well against this B team in a friendly in January camp. Maybe he has something of value to offer. Whereas when you actually watch these guys play in MLS, it's very easy to see their level. So whatever you do in this meaningless camp against some terrible team has no real bearing on what their USMNT future should or should not be, right? And we've oftentimes ignored that.
Yeah. So there's that. I just don't really understand. Like, no, it's funny because we wouldn't really have this discussion in any serious soccer country, because I remember a while back they had in Brazil the Super Clásico da Americas, which they did a game where it was Brazil versus Argentina, just domestic league players. No one was even like, people watched it for the enjoyment of the rivalry, but no one was saying these guys need to be in the national team because they scored against Argentina's domestic. But no one was saying that.
Yeah.
That was not part of the discussion. People knew it was a money grab, and they were just like, yeah, for the rivalry, let's watch it and enjoy it. But again, we weren't playing Venezuela, which is not that fun. So again, whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I
think this is why I really don't like January camp, because it sparks discussions we shouldn't even be having, frankly. They're just, it's the same pointless discussion over and over, and you won't see any of these guys for the rest of the year because they won't deserve it. So it's pointless. And then people try to read into it and hype up their local MLS guy, and it's like, no, you know?
Yeah, it's what I said before too. It's kind of like, well, you can make it useful for the long run, but you choose not to. So again, like Marko Mitlevic right now, he's 60 minutes into this game.
Yeah,
and
how does that serve us at all as a national team?
Luna is a player that we've been talking about quite some time that we want to see for the national team a little bit, get an opportunity, and the dude hasn't come on yet.
Also, if Poch was like so pro MLS and all these MLS, why not give Luna a chance? This guy plays in Argentina. Why is he playing so many minutes?
Well, the reason he's playing is because he plays in Argentina.
Exactly. It's not about his quality, that's for sure. That's the thing. If Poch goes, oh, if you are playing well, you will play. Apparently not. Apparently not, because he's still playing.
Yeah. So they're saying subbed on. We haven't had any substitution yet, right?
Yeah. Isn't Ameli coming on? They're saying in the chat Ameli's
coming on.
Oh,
yeah, he's coming on. Number 5. Yeah, he's coming on. Number 5. Okay, Luna too. There's 4 substitutions coming on.
Okay.
Luna, Ameli. I couldn't see the other numbers. There's 4.
Please, no Brian White.
Does it matter also? Like,
no, but it's just like, come on. Indiana Vasilev. If it's Indiana Vasilev and Brian White.
Jeff Curry saying almost 82% of Venezuelans live in poverty, 53% in extreme poverty, unable to buy even basic food. Yeah, Venezuela's been having, the country's been having, it's unfortunate, a lot of issues for multiple years. It's been a while. Used to be a very rich country, but Carlos saying, what teams would you like versus the United States in the World Cup? Honestly, since all I care about is how far we go, give us the weakest ones.
Yeah.
As far as we can go, give us the weakest one. We don't know, Kyle. It's hard to know now. We don't even have all the teams that qualify. We don't have any teams
Oh,
qualified
Milivojevic
yet.
scored.
Oh, God. Oh, March camp.
March Cap, call up now. Bro, pipe down. Nobody wants you here.
I'm going to watch it. So took the ball in transition, opened up to Gutierrez, ball in the middle, and then a very like pickup soccer-like goal.
Yeah. Gives it to McGlynn. No pressure on McGlynn. Just pops it back to him. Bloop. Finished. Oh, no. Now he's going to call him up for the rest of the year.
Milivojevic scored. Should we call him up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a great player. He scored. Tack. Amazing player.
I don't even know how to write his name.
Milivojevic.
Venezuela's what? D team?
I don't know.
Something like that.
You probably know their depth better than I do. I know it's their domestic team.
Oh, I don't know. Like, I know they're starting 11. This ain't it.
Do you
I don't know
see these guys? Do you see any of these guys in World Cup qualifying? Yeah.
No.
So it's like
I know they're starting 11, but the guys I'm seeing today, I don't recognize any of them.
no. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see what Luna can do. Luna's in now. So who came in? Brian White came in. Yeah. Brian White is there. Luna's in. DeJuan Jones came in. And Emeli. Eneka Emeli.
Tyler Adams is regen.
This is the closest thing we have to Tyler Adams. Shaq Moore is going to go 90, isn't he? Because there's no fullbacks in the camp.
Yeah, some of them left.
John
right?
Chokin had to go home. And also, they wouldn't release Nathan Harriel. The Philadelphia Union wouldn't release. I love when MLS teams try to pretend that January matters so they can't release their players.
Dude, I would actually love them if they just none of them released their players.
Yeah, they were like, nah.
So all of a sudden the January camp's like, okay, can we call the USL guys?
But that'll never happen because now they get to tell their fan base on the phone call, hey, are you renewing your season ticket? We have USMNT forward Patrick Agyemang. He scored a goal against a really good South American team. I can't remember which one, but it was a really good one. And he's like Poch's favorite player. So going to score for us in the World Cup. Do you want to buy tickets?
Yeah, I think they pick and choose the players they want there according to the needs of each franchise.
Right. Like which franchise needs more ticket sales?
So like, for example, we're talking about like the Sounders. The Sounders don't need to promote themselves. They have a strong fan base already.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't need Jesus there. The Sounders are fine. Let's get someone else.
Also, the Sounders are building their base now on USMNT rejects. It's Roldan, Morris, Ariola, and Ferreira in Seattle. Oopsie, Emeli, that was your guy. Hey, where's this time? Did you see that? The guy takes the ball out of the air and Emeli just like shoulder barges him and then falls on the ground and the guy keeps going with the ball and shoots. I thought he was supposed to be Tyler Adams.
Dude, like I know players peak at different ages, but if the dude at age 25 is still stuck in MLS and not really like dominating, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't be Tyler Adams. That's like playing very well in the Premier League.
Oh my God. Was that Miles? Venezuela just scored. Miles Marker just scored.
Let me see. So off a corner?
Is Miles number 12? Yeah, off the corner. Look at this. Miles again, dude.
Let me see. Corner kick for Venezuela. Yeah, he beat Miles.
He beat Miles in the air.
So
Yeah.
Miles is not even good at headers anymore?
Okay, here. So Miles is ball watching instead of tracking number 19. Yeah, he's ball watching. This is the same Miles who in the Mexico game last year was beat in the air by a 5'8", what was his name? Cuevas? Whatever his name was, that little short guy from Mexico. Beat Miles in the air and had a shot on target.
Well, and also that's like the one thing Miles is supposed to be good at.
Right.
It's supposed to be his specialty. Winuke saying, as a Venezuelan American, the funny thing is that Venezuela has pro-rel, but knowing the United States has the resources to get pro-rel, but doesn't want to, it's dumb. I mean, we have the resources, but also rich owners want to protect their assets. So there's that. Michael's saying, Matko just earned another start. He might start during the midweek because of this goal.
He might.
That's why Pochettino replaced him to rest him for the next game. Cubo Maker saying Milovic start over Reina. Lalas for some reason. Alexi starts to. No, he doesn't play in MLS. Lalas is not going to hype.
Yeah, I know. He's going to say Aguimang over Reina, maybe.
Brazilian Fury saying it won't be a wake-up call for MLS, but it'll be in the Club World Cup when their teams get dog-walked in the group stage. I think they do need that in the Club World Cup. They do need to get dog-walked. And as long as the Europeans and South American teams and African teams and Asian teams take it seriously, the MLS teams are in big trouble, as long as they take it seriously, which I think most of them will. Cubo Maker saying, told you Miles is good at headers. Yeah, doesn't look like it anymore. Once upon a time.
Huerta, that was his name.
Oh, minute 69. Nice. For me, it hit minute 69. Nice. Sorry, it's 70 there, but for me, I'm 30 seconds behind, so I'm still at minute 69. Oh, boy. Okay, we hit minute 69, everyone. Thank you very much. If you guys can, drop a like in the stream. Thank you very much. Let's try to get it over 400 likes if you can. If you guys can just smash the like button. It's pretty quick, pretty easy, and free to do so. So thank you very much. Brazilian Fury is saying, I missed a word there. I meant it'll be funny when. Yeah, it will be funny when they do. But we need the teams from South America and Europe to take the Club World Cup seriously. If they do, MLS teams are in big trouble. I'm a little concerned with like how the Europeans will treat the Club World Cup. That's what I'm concerned.
Yeah, whether or not they care will be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think all the other, like, I'm pretty sure the Brazilian ones will care, and most of them will. But the Europeans, that's where the question lies.
Again? Yeah.
Oh, here it is. This guy, Chico Huerta to Anderlecht. He's the L3 savior. Is that the guy? That's the guy with the curly hair, right? Chico Huerta?
Yes, the little short guy that beat Miles in the air.
Yes. Yeah, he's not great, but not terrible. Not a terrible player. Mostly the people that are like shitting on me on Twitter for the take on Camp Cupcake, it's always like the fans of the team that have a player that are playing. So like it's Charlotte fans.
Without fail. When I said that Ian Frey from Cincinnati shouldn't have been called up last year in January, the Cincinnati fans were all up in arms. They're not even all of them, but it's the casuals. It's the casuals who only watch their MLS team and really don't know soccer.
Well, it's mainly the ones that cosplay as soccer fans. They never watch it ever, and they just go so they can like play the drums and like shout in the game. It's mostly those.
It's the hipster activity for them rather than an actual soccer activity.
And Indiana Vasilev is coming on with a nice mustache. 72 minutes, and he's on for Guti. You know what's going to be funny next game? Miguel Herrera is coaching Costa Rica.
I want to see that. Miguel Herrera might be the most entertaining part of that game.
Remember he would get fired up with the most meaningless games. He just gets fired up for everything.
Well, do you remember him in the 2014 World Cup?
Yes. No, but even for Mexico, he'd be like fired up for like the
Yeah,
most
he's constantly
stupidest
fired up.
games.
He's like the
And then
antithesis of Greg Berhalter.
didn't he punch a journalist and get fired?
Yeah, in Philadelphia after a Gold Cup.
Miguel Ejeda. El Piojo. I'm so glad he's back in the scene. Like we haven't seen him in a while. But yeah, on Wednesday, Miguel Ejeda will be here in Orlando. He's one of my favorite coaches. I mean, I don't want to have him coaching the U.S. men's national team, but I love watching him coach other teams.
Yeah. Come on, Luna. Good ball into the channel for Brian White.
I'm just going to tell you one thing, Pete, for the post game. Do we have to do player ratings or can we just kind of talk about specific points of the player? It's going to be really hard to do player ratings of this.
I'm not going to do ratings, but we can talk about who performed to what degree.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm going to go prepare for the post game. I'll see you there, Tack.
See you soon. See you in 15 minutes. All right, after the game, guys, we're going to go to 11 Yanks for the post game. They're saying punch the journalist. What? Yeah, you guys don't remember that? Miguel Ejeda, he was coaching L3, and I remember he got fired because he punched the journalist or something, or he at least tried to punch. Miguel Ejeda is sometimes he's crazy, man. Not just on the sidelines, but I love his energy. He's got good energy. Angelo Boivel saying, congrats, guys. You got 740 viewers for Camp. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone that tuned in. I'm actually impressed that this many people are interested in the game. Thank you very much, everyone that tuned in. I'll say this. The game, in my opinion, again, if you enjoyed it, it's fine. I'm not here to take away your joy. If you enjoyed it, it's fine. I thought the game was mostly kind of boring, but the chat kind of makes it worth it. You guys make it worth it. T26 is saying, Moore and Campbell playing next to each other is something. It really is. It really is. There's a lot of combos in this game. There's a lot of like combos or pairs, I would say, in this game that are like Batman and Robin, except for they both suck and they're both Robin. There's no Batman. It's just Robin and Robin at this point. There's a lot of Robins and Robins. Fumar is saying Caden Clark looked decent. Yeah, he looked decent in a few moments when he had the ball. We know Caden has the technique, right? Has to be more effective with it, but we know he has the ability, right? Diego Luna here at the ball. Blows by the defender. Out wide. Is that DeJuan Jones? I think so. I can't really see. Emeka. Jack McGlynn all the way back to Miles Robinson. 76 minutes and out in the game. They're saying MLS is a top 10 league. Who cares what they say? I mean, look, it doesn't really matter what anyone ranks a league, right? Even if you say that the Premier League is not the best league in the world and La Liga is better or whatever, I think the Premier League is the best league in the world in terms of competitiveness. Whether MLS is a top 10 league, it doesn't really matter in terms of my opinion or whatever. I think MLS is somewhere between 10 to 15. Which is actually quite remarkable compared to where it was like 15 years ago. I don't think it's a top 10 league. If you think it's a top 10 league, I would be interested in seeing where you rank it. McGlynn. Oh, I thought that was a goal. I swear I thought that was a goal from McGlynn. That would have been a banger. Let me see. I swear that shit went in. It didn't go in? It was out of bounds. Let's see. Oh, that was going upper 90. That was one heck of a shot. But no, it went out. It looked like it went in, but no goal. No goal. Still 3-1. Yeah, if you think MLS is a top 10 league, I would like to see your top 10 ranking. I would like to see the leagues that you have above MLS and at least like one or two that you have after. I mean, just give me your ranking. Feel free to do so. If you want to, of course. You don't really owe me an explanation. New Caddy, Brown Nail, whatever it is. You don't really owe me an explanation, but I'm just wondering, what leagues do you have below MLS? Shaquille Moore and goes out of bounds. Venezuela has it. Venezuela has the ball once again. What did you guys think of Guti? Well, the same thing as always with Guti. I do think he is a very technical player, and you can see it when he's playing. I don't think he stood out by any means. He had some good moments here and there, but you can see when Gutierrez has the ball on his feet, he's a very technical player, which I appreciate. And here comes Venezuela down the right. Cuts inside, ball delivered, and okay. It was who cleared it? George Campbell was able to clear it, and then Schulte is able to grab the ball. Okay, so let me see. Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, top three. MLS is eighth in front of Liga MX and the Argentinian league. 4 to 7 are interchangeable. So 4 to 7, I'm assuming you're putting like the Serie A, Liga, Brazil, probably. Who else? Wait, actually, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 right there. You're putting the Serie A, Brazil, Liga. What else? Maybe the Eredivisie that you're putting there. I don't know if MLS is better than the Portuguese league. I don't think it is. I don't think MLS is better than Liga MX because if you go based off the CONCACAF Champions Cup, Liga MX has dominated that for decades. So I don't think MLS is, we can place it ahead of Liga MX. I don't think so. The only place that MLS has had success against Liga MX is in the Leagues Cup. So I wouldn't put it ahead of Liga MX. I don't think MLS is also better than the championship. Just being honest with you, I don't think it is. So I probably have MLS somewhere between 10 to 11. Now, look, to your point about MLS being better than the Argentine league these days, that is actually not a crazy take. The Argentine league has fallen off quite a bit, and there's a financial crisis going on there with the country and the clubs. But I just don't think MLS is better than Liga MX right now. There's no evidence of that. But I appreciate you sharing your opinion. Because one thing that bothers me is when someone says something like that, like MLS is a top 10 league, and then I ask them, okay, give me your ranking. And then they never provide anything. Right? So I appreciate that you provided your ranking. I do think that I don't think my opinion on that is absolute, right? I don't think it's absolute. I do think what I'm saying and what you're saying is debatable, but I definitely don't agree with what you're saying. That's for sure. Let me see here what Tizer put. He put Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, Eredivisie, Liga Portugal, Serie A, the Brazilian Championship, Liga MX, and then MLS 10. Not that crazy of a ranking. I think that's fair. I would have to think here if I put anyone else, but yeah, like I said, anywhere from 10 to 15, that's where I see Major League Soccer. Anywhere from 10 to 15. I also went to a J League game in Japan, and I watched the level of play in Japan, and I thought Japan was more or less the same level as MLS outside of the designated players. If you remove the designated players, I watched the J League, and it looked to be more or less the same level as MLS, in my opinion. Okay, and I actually went to a game. I went to Cerezo Osaka versus Kashima Antlers, which are good teams there. In MLS, I've been to many games, too many. Yeah, I'm telling you, I went to a J League game, and I thought it was very I don't think it's better than MLS because MLS does have the designated players that elevates the level a bit. But if you remove the designated players, I do think the J League is pretty much the same level as Major League Soccer from what I saw with my own eyes. Okay, and here comes now the United States with nothing. 82 minutes in the clock. United States 3, Venezuela 1. Definitely impossible for Venezuela to come back at this point. I don't think they care enough also to do so. And the United States has a better team right now. But we'll see if the U.S. can at least get number 4 here. Get a 4-1 victory against Venezuela. Not that it matters too much, but I mean, the more goals we score, the better. I would like to see a Diego Luna goal. Maverick is saying it's Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, Liga, Portuguese League, Eredivisie, Brazil, Championship, J League, Liga MX, and MLS. I don't know if I would put the J League above MLS. I don't know if I would do that. And I actually went there to watch a game, and I did watch a few games on YouTube too when the J League had games on YouTube for free. But I did watch a game in person as well when I was in Japan, in Osaka. Um, I don't think I would put the J League ahead of MLS right now. The biggest difference between the J League and MLS, I think the biggest positive difference for Japan specifically, is that in MLS, the best players are not American in MLS. The J League, the best players, most of them are Japanese, which means the J League is doing a bit better in terms of developing players domestically. That is something I noticed when I was there. Also, talking to a lot of soccer people in Japan. I stayed a couple of days in Tokyo. Then I went to Osaka for a couple of days as well. And that's what I learned a lot from Japanese soccer. It's like, I don't think the J League is better than MLS, but most of the players in the J League are Japanese. So they're developing better players than us. And they do have their best players in Europe as well. There's a lot of Japanese players in Europe doing very well, by the way. And here comes Venezuela. Cross goes in, and Schulte will hold it 84 minutes. They're saying, Tack, I'm not rich. I'm not rich. Also, trips to Japan are not that expensive these days. I mean, the flight is. I'll tell you that. The flight is. But Japan, the food there was very cheap. Airbnb, very cheap. Everything there was super cheap. Besides the bullet train. That one was pricey. But everything else was very, very cheap in Japan. But the biggest issue was the flight. T is saying, Tack, do you even realize that tomorrow is the last day you can watch Dest, his dance video? No. I have that video downloaded on my phone. I have it on my phone. So even though it seems like TikTok will be banned tomorrow, right? Is it tomorrow that they're going to ban TikTok? I still have Serginho Dest's video, and I'm holding on to it. I'm holding on to it very tight. I ain't letting that video escape. Saying, how much cheap are we talking? So, for example, talk about in Tokyo, you can have a very good meal in Tokyo for like $12. Tipping, well, there's no tipping there, right? You don't tip. So $12, a very good meal, like with an appetizer and a ramen bowl, like all of that. There are dumplings. You can have a very good meal and be full for multiple for $12. That's like McDonald's price here in the United States. If you want to get really fancy in Japan and eat very fancy, you'll spend like $25, $30 in some really good places. So it's much cheaper than the United States. You can also get Airbnbs in Tokyo, which would be probably very expensive in Tokyo, for like $100 a night, which not even in Orlando you can get that these days. They're saying $12. Sorry, that's that's not very expensive. I'm saying a very good meal. You can have like a bento box in Japan. Okay, let's go very cheap. You can go to 7-Eleven, and 7-Eleven there's very good, and get a bento box for like $4. And that'll be lunch. That'll be enough to feed you for lunch. $4. Trust me, it's a lot cheaper than the United States. A lot cheaper. And Cubo Maker saying, chat, let's spam love and likes for Pete when we switch to his channel. Rest in peace, Taco. Yeah, guys. Unfortunately, Pete's dog passed away, Taco. And Pete's recovering, feeling better. I don't know if he wants to be reminded of that. But I think that if you guys show love, show support, I think he'll be happy. He'll be happy. Not happy, but at least I guess, yeah, it's hard to be happy with that. Michael saying top teams in Denmark, Belgium, Greece, Turkey would cook in MLS. The top teams, yes, but the bottom teams in those leagues are pretty damn bad. That is for sure. Yeah, people are saying 12 is cheap. Yeah, in the United States, you cannot get a good meal for $12. $12 is like cheap fast food in the US. If you go out to an actual restaurant, you're going to spend like at least $25, $30, dude. Japan it's definitely cheap. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, very, very cheap when I was there. And the quality of the food was really good. If you have some money saved up and you want a trip that's not overly expensive, but very different, exciting, and quite a fascinating country, a wonderful country, I would say go to Japan. I don't think you'll regret it. Especially if you're a Pokemon fanatic like myself. Al Hollywood is saying, when I was in Japan for the World Cup, that was in 2002, it was 90 yen to a dollar. Now it's 145. I think it's more than 145. Al, when I was in Japan, it was like 155 to the dollar. It was 155. I don't know. Maybe it went down now, but it was 155 at the time. How much was the flight? So the flights to Japan, and I've done research this for quite some time before I bought it. They go between like 750 to $1,200. So around 700 to $1,200. So the flights are pricey. The flights are not cheap. Outside of that, the trip is mostly fair price or cheap. Cheap, I guess, for the most part. But the flights are not cheap. It's much cheaper to travel within the US, right? Within the United States, you can travel very well for like $300 or less sometimes. Yes, round trip, Carl. Round trip. Okay, United States the ball here. 89 minutes. Diego Luna. Yeah, the game's gone a bit cold. Caden Clark, oh, good ball. Diego Luna gets a little fancy right there. And then that'll be a throw in for the US. Throw in for the United States. No, $1,000 for a flight to Japan, Placata. I don't think the price is unfair. I'm just saying it is pricey. Like to just put $1,000 on a flight, that's not cheap, right? Like I can go from Florida to New York. If I get like Frontier or Spirit, I can go from Florida to New York for like $100 round trip. So yeah, $1,000 is a bit pricey, but it's a fair price. Productive Grind said, I'm interested in visiting Singapore. Have you ever been there? I have not. I am interested in Singapore, but I have not been there. I've never been to Singapore. Maybe some people in the chat have. T is saying Portuguese league over Dutch league. Oh, Portuguese league over Dutch league is crazy. I mean, look, the top Portuguese teams have done better in the Champions League than the Eredivisie teams, right? Benfica, Porto in the past. So I don't know. I don't think it's clear cut, the Portuguese league and the Dutch league. They've done better in the Champions League. I don't think it's that crazy. As a matter of fact, the Portuguese league might actually be better than the Dutch league. And everyone, we have 411 likes. If you haven't already, make sure to drop a like before we end the stream, which we're going to end in like 2.5 minutes. We will. I hope to hit 500 if we can. We'll try to hit 500. And the U.S. has the ball here. There's probably like 2 more attacks that we're going to have in the game, and then it should be over. Indiana Vasilev, Jack McGlynn, Walker Zimmerman. United States here with the ball. McGlynn. All the way back. Yeah, we don't. Doesn't seem like we care anymore to score goals. We're just moving the ball one way or another. It doesn't seem like Venezuela wants to play. There's no point on the ref even adding 3 minutes to this game. There's just no point. Julian Viva is saying, do you think McGlynn can make it to the senior team? So I'll put it this way. I think McGlynn is actually a very talented player. I do have some concerns in regards to his speed and how and his ability in tight spaces under pressure, but he is a very talented player. I wouldn't say it's impossible. He is one of the players in this roster that could possibly have a shot. The biggest issue for McGlynn there is the midfield is probably where we have the most depth, the midfield. So you tell me, do you think he'll make the senior team, like the A team? I find it unlikely. I don't think it's impossible because I don't think McGlynn's a bad player. No, he's actually a good player, but it is where we have the most depth. So I find it unlikely, but not impossible. Steven Spada say the United States places a lot of taxes and fees on airline tickets. Flights within Europe and some parts of Asia are super cheap by comparison. I didn't know that because I mainly travel within the US, so I didn't know that. It's just that traveling within the US is just it's pretty cheap in terms of flights. You can find flights for like $200, $100 round trip. And I don't know, it's just easier to get around the United States. Probably because I'm more accustomed, obviously, in the language, probably. Diego Luna with the ball in the box. 92 minutes and 30 seconds. T is saying miss my donut. Did I, T? Did I? I put there, T, I talked about the Portuguese league over the Dutch league. I said that I don't think it is crazy. I think the Portuguese league might even be ahead of the Dutch league. I don't think it's that crazy. Oh, we didn't get 500 likes, but we got the 456. It's close enough. And we just had a shot on target here, saved by the goalkeeper. And that should do it for the game. Are they going to end the game or what? Are we going to end the game? Just end it. Just end the game. Okay, that does it for this game. Congratulations to the United States for beating Venezuela in this non-international FIFA window match with MLS players versus whatever Venezuela brought today. We're going to go now to 11 Yanks for the post game. The United States got the win, got the job done. We're going to go to 11 Yanks for the post game. We'll be talking into details of if any players impressed. Not really, a few. I thought McGlynn was good, and we'll talk about a few others. And the ones that didn't impress and were poor in this game. Now, for our channel here, there are no 7 things we learned for this game. I don't feel like doing it, but we have the U.S. Men's National Team Abroad episode coming on Monday, a channel favorite that I know you guys love very much. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys at 11 Yanks right now. Ciao.